everyone, my name is Imawan Priyabudi. I am the student of Executive MBA 2024, IPMI International Business School, Jakarta. Today, I am going to share to you about the summary of the lesson learned that I have studied at IPMI in related with the subject of corporate finance with the lecturer, Professor Roy Sembo. As an MBA student at IPMI International Business School, the corporate finance is a very important course to learn. The main objective of this course is to give the students problem-solving skills in finance from the point of view of management or internal as well as investor or external. Without further ado, let me start to do the mind mapping and share the summary through this interactive YouTube video. During the corporate finance teaching class, Professor Roy Sembo always clearly stated that all of his students have to pay full attention to the lessons. However, in order to have successful completion of this course, the MBA students are expected to be able to first, explain important financial management decisions and interlinkage among them. Second, apply financial management decisions making tools in analyzing financial decisions problem. Third, explore and evaluate opportunities to create financial value to firms and investors. Fourth, utilize logics of corporate finance to improve participation decisions in other business-related situations. Fifth, last but not least, demonstrate ability to discuss in a structured way hot issue that emerge in the business or finance media. Well, I remember the lessons Professor Roy taught the class about the Confucius old quote, one of the famous Chinese philosophers. Brief philosophy of learnings. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Well, the corporate finance subject that is being taught by Professor Roy Sembo is an 8 weeks hybrid meeting class with the following content of the courses. Week 1, Introduction to Finance Management, Time Value of Money. Week 2, Capital Budgeting. Week 3 and 4, Analysis of Securities, Portfolio Investment. Week 5, Capital Structure, Corporate Restructuring, Issues in Finance or Finance Movie. Week 6, Dividend Policy, Fraud Risk Management, International Finance, Recent Issue in Finance or Green Finance. With 7 and 8, Event Analysis, Portfolio Performance Evaluations, Final Examinations. So, along the process to understand the subjects, most of the time we have to do many individual assignments as well as a group presentation. It was sometimes a bit challenging, but we really have a fun. I started the topic with finance management. Finance management is the strategic planning and managing of individual or organizations' finances to better align their financial status to their goals and objectives. Depending on the size of the company, finance management seeks to optimize shareholder value, generate profit, mitigate risk, and safeguard the company's financial health in the short and long term. The purpose of financial management is to guide businesses or individuals or financial decisions that affects financial stability both now and in the future. The effective financial management aligned with an organization's goals and objectives can lead to greater efficiency and stability. This part of the financial management cycle must work together in the most effective. Now, let's talk about the total value of money. The time value of money is the concept that the sum of money is worth more now than the same sum will be at a future date due to its earnings potential and the interim. Because money grows when it is invested. A delayed payment is a lost opportunity for growth. Being paid now is worth more than being paid the same sum in the future, because of the longer time you will have to invest and grow that money. The formula for computing the time value of money considers the amounts of money, its future value, the amount of it can earn, and the time frame. For saving accounts, the number of compounding periods is an important determinant as well. Inflation has a negative impact on the time of value of money because your purchasing power decreases as prices rise. The other interesting subject is capital budgeting. Capital budgeting is a process that business use to evaluate potential major projects or investments. Building a new plan or taking a large stake in an outside venture are examples of initiatives that typically require capital budgeting before they are approved or rejected by management. The process involves analyzing a project's cash flow inflow and outflow to determine whether the expected returns meets a set benchmark. Okay, now I would like to talk about the corporate restructuring. The corporate restructuring is an action taken by a company to significantly modify the financial and operational aspects of the company. Usually, when the business is facing financial pressures, restructuring is a type of corporate action taken that involves significantly modifying the debt, operations, or structures of a company as a way of limiting financial harm and improving the business. One of the successful company restructuring example is PT Garuda Indonesia. In June 2021, PT Garuda Indonesia experienced financial difficulties due to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. It exacerbated the situations, resulting in decreased revenue due to the reduced passenger numbers and air traffic. To address this, Garuda initiated a restructuring effort through the postponement of the payments obligations, or we call it PKPU, wrote with the creditors. The restructuring involved extending payment terms, converting debt to equity, and modifying the debt structures. Operational cost reductions measures were also implemented. And now, you can see that PT Garuda Indonesia has made significant progress after its debt restructuring. Post-restructuring process, its operational performance is strong and plans to strengthen its capital structures by increasing capital from existing shareholders and seeking new strategic investors. What does the principal agent problem mean? The principal agent problem is a conflict in priorities between the owner of an asset or shareholders and the persons to whom control of the asset has been delegated or manager. Principal agent problems, the examples: an owners or shareholders hire a manager to operate the company. Manager might not act in a ways that maximize shareholders' wealth. What is the solution of principal agent problem? The first, make manager compensations reflect share prices. Second, stock option. Third, fire managers who do not perform well. Fourth, take over. And fifth, good corporate governance. What is a good corporate governance principles? We are talking about tarif. T, transparency. A, accountability. R, responsibility. I, independency. And F, fairness. So for those principles, we have a prudent management according to mandate given. We have a sustainable performance improvements. We have a better corporate image, and then the last one is we have a value creation. Now, I would like to talk about the LBO, or the leverage buyout, and the mechanisms. LBO is a financial transactions where a company or the target is acquired using a significant amount of borrowed money to meet the acquisition costs. The asset of the acquired company are often used as a collateral for the loans. The LBO mechanisms, we have a buyers, we have a sellers, we have a target, we have funding sources, we have collaterals, and last but not least, we also have a post-acquisitions deal. What are the sources of value creations in leverage buyout? There are many sources in LBO that can create value, and they become crucial elements. The sources can be categorized into several key areas. 1. Financial engineering. 2. Operational improvements. 3. Strategic positioning. 4. Governance change. 5. Multiple arbitrage. 6. Market timings. 7. Industry consolidations. 8. Regulatory or technological arbitrage. 9. Human capital optimizations. And last but not least, 10. Risk management. And then, is LBO good or bad for the economy? There are positive and negative aspects when we are talking about the LBO, especially the impact to the economy. The negative aspect is high debt levels, the employee impacts, and then the short-term focus. Well, for the positive aspect is operational improvements. LBOs often lead to restructuring and operational enhancement in the acquired company. Then the second is increased efficiency. LBOs aim to make companies more efficient by optimizing their financial and operational structures. In summary, LBO have both benefits, efficiency gains, operational improvements, and drawback, like a debt risk, employee impact. The impact on the economy depends on specific cases and broader economic context. Okay. One of the Professor Roy Semple taught us in the class on the last meeting is about the ESG, the economic, social, and governance. ESG is a framework used to evaluate the sustainability and social impact of a company's operations. ESG stands for environment, social, and governance. And then one of the aspects of the ESG from the perspective of the environment, we can talk about the green finance. What is a green finance? Green finance is any structured financial activities, a product or services that has been created to ensure a better environmental outcome. 1. Inequalities in access to finance. High-income countries dominate sustainable funds, leaving developing countries with limited access. That was one of the issues of the green finance. The second, microeconomic challenge. What is the sample of the microeconomic challenge? Internalizing environmental externalities, information asymmetry, maturity mismatches, standardization of green definition. Third, coordination and policy alignments. Financial and environmental policies often lack coordination, and coordinated effort between policymakers, regulators, and financial institutions are crucial. Fourth, private capital mobilizations. What is that? Private capital mobilization is public budget alone cannot meet the funding needs for green investment. So, mobilizing private capital through innovative financial instruments is essential. Now, let's talk about the green bond. What is a green bond? Green bonds is a fixed income instrument designed to support specific climate-related or environmental projects. The example of the issue of the green bond is 1. Non-binding commitment to environmentally friendly projects. When an issuer sells a green bonds, they must commit to making the sales proceeds for environmentally friendly initiatives. The project can include renewable energy, energy efficient building, clean water infrastructure, and sustainable transportation. Second, wider umbrella or sustainable bonds. Green bonds falls under the broader category of sustainable bonds, and sustainable bonds allocate proceeds for social or sustainability projects beyond just environmental initiative. Third, global issues and rapid growth. Major companies like Apple, Pepsi Cola, Toyota are entering the green bond space. But on the other hand, governments and banks worldwide, including China, Russia, European Union, are issuing sustainable bonds. Well, everyone, that's all the lesson learned summary of the corporate finance subjects I have learned from Professor Roy Semple. I hope you enjoyed, and of course, I hope this video is also useful for you to better understand the subject of corporate finance. Last but not least, I would like to express my gratitude to anyone who have supported and helped me in making this video. I know nothing is perfect, so I'd be more than happy to accept any valuable feedbacks, input, or further comments from you. Again, thank you very much for your attention and time for watching this video. Stay healthy, stay safe, and see you again all.